On this week's episode of the A-Game, we will look at how some Mountaineers did during the App State Pro Day, how App State women's golf player Sarah Harden has dealt with being a woman in a male-dominated sport. Welcome back to the A-Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius. Now, I don't know if y'all saw this, but my girl Hat Trick Houston has been putting up some insane numbers this season. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. She's batting .394, almost .400, 39 home runs so far in the season, only 5 off of her total from last season. Slug percentage, .657. Chris mentioned, I think, the last episode, what it was for the two-game series, which was insane. And then on-base percentage, .455, and she's fielding at a .941 percentage. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, these numbers are like, they're up there in the nation. She won some Conference Player of the Week this past week. And the thing with the softball team is, too, they have not played many home games. Jeff, you said you called the recent Western Series at home. That's really been it for home games, I believe, so far. So they're going to end this late season stretch, a lot of games at home. So these numbers could get only better.
Yeah, and as Eric mentioned, I got to call that Western doubleheader last Tuesday. Had 3 hits in both games, including a 5 RBI game in the first, including a home run. She had two out extra base hits, which were very clutch for the team. And then, of course, the 3-homer game in the first game of the series against ULM. She's seeing the ball really, really well right now, so keep mashing.
You were at the Western game. You were calling it, so you got to witness this. I know we're talking about her season as a whole, but I want to talk about Kate Houston's game versus Western Carolina. 1.563 slugging percentage and 2 outfield assists. Now, even for somebody that isn't like an avid softball or baseball watcher like me, that is an insane slugging percentage. Obviously, only during those games, look, that was during the season. She'd be the GOAT, just straight up the GOAT. Yeah. But I mean, during that season versus Western Carolina, she was going all out. I mean, and a .700 on base percentage, incredible stuff. And I just hope she keeps it up.
Yeah, it's like absurd, because when I looking over the stats, I mean, it's almost feels like you're playing a video game with some of these numbers. I mean, they're just wild. It's putting her up there in the nation, and she deserves the recognition.
Mm-hmm. All righty, now switching to March Madness, who do y'all think will be crowned the winner Monday night?
Well, I guess I'll start, and it's already been addressed in the first portion of the show, but I'll be taking my North Carolina Tar Heels to win this tournament. They're the only team left that ranks top 15 in offensive and defensive efficiency in the NCAA tournament so far. They've beaten Baylor and UCLA back-to-back, which are 2 of the toughest teams in the tournament. I know WSU had UCLA in their Final Four in their bracket, which didn't go well, of course. I'm sure you guys have already.
Winner over here.
Yeah, you guys have already talked about that stuff. But I really like North Carolina. The starting 5 is playing so well. The problem will be the depth, but I think if they can overcome that issue and get good minutes out of the couple bench guys that play, I think North Carolina can take this home.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the other side of the bracket, the game that doesn't matter apparently, right. But it does because I'm pulling with them. Going with my bias, I am a Villanova fan. And Villanova, I love them. I think they're playing an excellent game. The thing with Villanova that made me a little hesitant on picking them was obviously the Justin Moore injury. That was really bad. That was very unfortunate. But I still have faith in Colin Gillespie, especially Jermaine Daniels. He has been playing fantastic throughout this tournament. His kind of unorthodox scoring way is very just unique. And I think a lot of teams are struggling to address that. And also Villanova just plays hard and basic fundamental basketball that you don't really see often in college basketball, but it really works. And Jay Wright just puts such an efficient system out there. And I think this really helps this team thrive. And when they're playing teams, and they have played a lot of teams, have bigger players and bigger centers that are out-rebounding them, but they still find a way to get these rebounds, get the offensive boards, get the defensive rebounds, and just push the ball fast and play a good pace. And Colin Gillespie, he was Big East Player of the Year. He is really leading that team well, and I have faith in him pushing a run and possibly winning the thing.
All righty. I hear your bias, and I hear your bias, too. Now I'm going with the team that I've hated all my life. Dude, Paulo Banchero is an NBA-ready prospect who's averaging 17.1 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. But not only Paulo, you got Wendell Moore, who's averaging 13.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. And don't forget Mark Williams, who's averaging 11, 7, and 1 assist. Three-headed monster for Duke. I mean, we talk about how this is a storybook, like, oh, it's rigged, like Duke shouldn't have gotten here, but no. These players are leading the effort for Duke. And I know a lot of Carolina fans, like my boy Jeff over here, are probably rooting for Duke's downfall, but I don't think that's going to happen. You just can't overcome these three, and I think that Duke is going to win not only the battle versus Carolina, but the whole dang thing.
Okay, you mentioned the downfall. I am praying on Duke.
Oh yeah, UNC fans, they might be the biggest
we'll
haters
see.
out there in college basketball. Honestly, it's up there.
I'll admit it. I mean, I've hated Duke my entire life, and nothing's good. I mean, this is the biggest game in the series, and it's not really close at all. First time meeting in the tournament, Final Four, everything on the line. Coach K's final year.
I will say it's like a scriptwriter's
Storybook.
dream, which is, pretty ironic. I'm not going to say anything on that, but it is like wild. But I think too, a thing is with this, people are viewing this game. We kind of talked about it earlier. Is how looking at it, you got the UNC Duke game has all the hype, which it deserves. I mean, you said first meeting of March Madness, and I mean they're like one of the biggest rivalries in sports in the world. But that Kansas Villanova game is being totally overlooked, and it would just be hilarious if like UNC or Duke wins and they just get crushed in the national championship. That would be so fun.
All right, okay, whatever you say, Eric.
I'm just saying that would be funny. That would
Philly.
be funny.
Now we're going international, and we're talking about the World Cup qualifying games. Now, they have ended in some shocking ways, and some teams will not be playing in Qatar in 2022. How do y'all feel about this?
Well, the biggest surprise for me was easily Italy not qualifying after they had made that run in the Euros, beating England in the finals, to lose to a country like North Macedonia 2-0. That's a tough break for Italy, but that's why they play the game. Soccer's one of those sports where anything can happen on any day, and at the professional level, everyone's good enough to beat each other. So Italy not qualifying is easily the biggest surprise for me.
Yeah, I mean, I usually pull for Italy in like a lot of tournaments and stuff, and that was pretty heartbreaking seeing that. I mean, just like in the late fashion too, of course, had to be that dramatic and everything. It was pretty brutal to watch. But I mean, looking at Italy, it's just like it doesn't make sense with the inconsistencies. Like you said, it winning the Euro Cup in England against England. I mean, that was crazy going into PKs, and there's controversy around that game as well after the game with England fans. But I mean, Italy does like what felt like almost like the impossible in that game, and then. I mean, losing to North Macedonia, it's just like how they are professionals on each level, but I mean, I think Italy just completely overlooked them. They've done in the past, missed the other World Cup in Russia as well. This is kind of disgrace.
You got something against North Macedonia? No, I'm kidding. No, but I want to talk about the Egypt versus Senegal game because this was the most controversial game. I mean, like, I'm going to come at it from a different point of view. I read a couple articles this morning about how both sides are being accused of racism in a sense and being very violent. I mean, they were talking about Senegal supporters attacking and damaging the team bus, and the Egyptian team being subject to racism, and the Senegal team being subject to racism as well. It was a mess. It was like one of those soccer matches that you can't watch and enjoy because in the back of your mind you're like, this doesn't feel right, And unfortunately, I hate that it came to that. I don't know the full situation because obviously I'm here and the game was on the other side of the globe. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, I think as sports fans, we got to do a better job of enjoying the game and realizing, like, hey, even though this is the World Cup, which is massive, we got to be better as fans. Like, racism has no place in sports. Violence has no place in sports. At the end of the day, we just got to enjoy these teams. And when you take all the violence and some of the racist comments away, it was an exciting game, except when the penalty kicks came around.
Penalty kicks. This game was very contentious. We went to penalty kicks, and then the Senegal fans pulled out all the lasers from the crowd and just pointed it right in the eyes of the Egyptian players. And I mean, granted, no one stopped them, and it worked. Senegal won in penalty kicks. So, I mean, you kind of blame them. There's no, integrity there for the Senegal fans, but I mean, it worked. They're in the world. They got drawn into the World Cup today.
Wow. They're Group A, but looking at it, I mean, I believe it was the Africa Cup of Nations a while back. In the final, these two teams did meet before, if I remember correctly, and I think They also did go to penalty kicks, because of course they did. And then you saw Egyptian fans, I think they're rumored to like point lasers at Senegal fans, or something similar like happened like this. So it's just like going back and forth with this. But I mean, it's just like disgraceful, because maybe even if Senegal deserved the game more, someone's going to always be in the back saying like, oh, no, they didn't because of the laser pointers. No, Egypt is the better team. So it's always going to go back and forth. And it's just funny because Egypt won the Africa Cup of Nations against them, and then Senegal pulls it out. But I mean, yeah, it was wild. But this will be a great World Cup. Obviously, USA is back in it, which is awesome. We'll talk about that later. But I mean, yeah, just a lot of controversy, a lot of shocking upsets. But it'll be a fun World Cup in November.
Well, one thing's for sure, guys, it's not coming home. But thank you, Jeff, for joining us this week on the A Game. And after the break, we'll take a look at how your Mountaineers performed during the App State Pro Day.
It's time for Sports Wrap on 90.5 WASU FM.
Unpredictable NC State can be on a
That is true. I feel like they do have one of these games in this part of the season every year. I'm not going to get into a big discussion about expanding it. I definitely think it should be maybe capped at 8 teams, maybe 6.
Because 228 yards on the ground as compared to a total of 55 for Coastal Carolina. I count one team of the 6 games that they have played this year that was in the playoffs last year.
Guys, we need to film a promo. Does anyone have any ideas?
Jack Black gave me a magic sack with a photograph from that song by Nickelback.
Okay, I got one, guys. What do you call a snail on a ship?
I hope you explode. Tell the camera when the show is.
Up Late App State on App TV at 9 p.m. every Sunday or so. They'll take me like they took Abe if you don't watch.
Memories. A sweet retrospective look at the past. However, the past has, well, passed. And now, a new and better crew looks toward the horizon and marches toward Appalachian State head-on. This spring, look toward App Avenue on App TV to see a new legacy be written on random days of the week. No, seriously, this show will literally be airing any day of the week, so stay glued to those screens. We'll see you out there.
Appalachian Avenue!
Welcome back to a brand new smack dab season of App TV's own queer-oriented show, Can't Think Straight. I'm Nate.
And I'm Harriet. We'll be here to make you laugh and think as we combine comedy and education on Can't Think Straight.
The show premieres Fridays at 9 p.m. You can tune in on watchapptv.com or on YouTube, channel 198 for Spectrum customers, channel 20 or 1020 for Skybest customers, and channel 23-3 on campus.
Also be sure to check out our Instagram at Can't Think Straight App TV. We can't wait to see you there. Bye.
Hi, neighbor.
I'm Ryan Perone.
And I'm Elena Jones.
Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. as we explore the events, organizations, and people that make the High Country so special.
You can tune in on channel 198 for Spectrum customers, channel 20 or 1020 for Skybest customers, or channel 23-3 on campus.
Also, make sure to follow us at Instagram at @hi_neighbor app TV for up-to-date coverage of events happening and student-made content. Until then,
bye neighbor.
Connected Cultures is back for spring 2022.
We'll be talking to you about Mexico, South Africa, the Netherlands, and so much more.
You can watch us every Friday at 10 a.m.
Either online at watchapptv.com or on campus on channel 23.3.
Bye.
Welcome back to the A Game. I'm Noah C. Cornelius alongside the one and only Eric Fisher. After failing to make the 2018 World Cup of Soccer in Russia, the United States men's national team has officially made the World Cup this winter in Qatar. The U.S. might have lost their last qualifying game to Costa Rica 2-0, but going into the game, they only needed to win or lose by less than 6 goals to qualify. The United States could field their best team in terms of talent, with Christian Pulisic leading the way as their captain and playing for Chelsea FC in England's Premier League. Giovanni Reina playing in the top-tier German league, and Weston McKennie, who plays for the Italian giant Juventus, also lead the Americans to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. From the depth of the squad being tested due to COVID-19 to Weston McKennie being sent home for off-the-field issues, the United States has seen its fair share of adversity throughout the qualification process. Christian Pulisic told CBS Sports after the match at Costa Rica, quote, "It's definitely been a roller coaster. We should be proud," end quote. 5 years ago, the United States was heartbroken when it failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup in Russia after losing to Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad. This game against Costa Rica was seen as a sense of redemption for the squad and a sense of relief after 5 years of disappointment. The United States goes into Qatar ranked 15th in the world and with quite a bit of confidence. The U.S. could have forfeited their previous game to Costa Rica and taken a 3-0 loss, but their coach, Greg Berhalter, wanted to play the game. Coach Berhalter said, quote, "Qualifying is a grind, and we did it," end quote. The 2022 World Cup takes place November 21st through December 18th later this year. The United States will be one of 32 teams competing for the coveted World Cup trophy.
Well, it's official. Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss will be leaving Conference USA for the Sun Belt this summer. This news comes after a bunch of legal issues between the schools and the Conference USA. Let's take a look at the timeline of all of these events because it has been a hectic couple of months. Back in November, it was announced that JMU, Marshall, ODU, and Southern Miss would all be joining the Sun Belt in the coming years. JMU announced in February that it would be joining the Sun Belt officially in July of this year. This seemed to light a fire underneath the Conference USA schools because a couple weeks later they would file a lawsuit to exit the conference at the end of this academic year. Flash forward to the end of March, and the 3 Conference USA schools have officially announced their intention to join the Sun Belt in time for the 2022 football season.
We caught up with Sarah Harden of the women's golf team to speak with her about what it's been like as a woman in a male-dominated sport.
So, can you please tell us your name and what sport you play?
My name is Sarah Harden and I play women's golf.
Awesome. So today we're highlighting women's golf as well as Women's History Month. So I'd like to start that off as how do you think male athletes can help to drive more visibility towards women's sports?
I think just recognizing that we also enjoy sports. Like, we love watching men's sports. I'm sure I'm not the only girl who loves watching men's sports. And so just men also encouraging and recognizing that there's a lot of women's sports out there as well. It's kind of cool to just be able to get that.
Sure. So what does it mean to you to be a woman in sports?
I'm like proud of it. Growing up, I didn't play many sports, but I always played golf, and golf is obviously a predominantly male sport up until recently, and it's really inspiring for me to see women like on tour and really making a career out of it. But also, I really like to inspire like the young girls that I like help at the golf course. It's like a heartwarming kind of thing.
Sure. So why golf and why App State?
So I'm from West Jefferson, like 30 minutes away, and I grew up going to App football games and just being on campus a lot, and I love it here. I didn't want to leave. The mountains are my home. And so when Coach Brown offered me the chance to come here and study and play, I took it, and I've loved it ever since.
What advice would you give to a young girl who's just starting off with golf?
I would say just continue to have as much fun with it as you can. When you're out there on the course, sometimes the results don't come quite as you expect, even though you put in the work. But if you stay patient and you stay focused and you just have fun with it, then I think that's the most important thing, because I've like made my best friends through playing golf, and I don't know, it's just fun. Yeah.
After the break, how the App State Pro Day went for 13 Mountaineer players.
Do you like video game news and entertainment? Well, App TV's original gaming news channel Pixel Peak is back for our 8th season. Every other week we discuss news stories, give a game review, display gameplay, and more. Be sure to check out our new season bi-weekly on Thursdays at 3 on WatchAppTV.com, SkyBest Channel 20 and 1020, Spectrum Channel 198, or on App State's Campus Television Channel 23.3. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you next time on Pixel Peak.
Broadcasting from the Wayne L. Sumner studio in the George G. Beasley Media Complex. Still crazy after all these years. 90.5 WASU, the App FM.
Welcome back to a brand new season of the Morning App every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Check it out on 90.5 WASU FM, WASUradio.com, WatchAppTV.com, WatchApp TV on Facebook and YouTube, Skybest Channels 20 and 1020, Charter Channel 198, and Campus Channel 23.3. See you there.
For Sports Wrap on 90.5 WASU FM.
Welcome back to a brand new season of Can't Think Straight. I'm Harriet.
And I'm Nate. Come join us Fridays at 9 p.m. for comedy and queer-oriented content.
You can tune in on WatchAppTV.com or any of these channels below.
Also, check out our Instagram at Can't Think Straight App TV. Can't wait to see you there.
Bye.
What's going on?
Up late.
What is that?
Sketch show.
Oh boy, when does it air?
Sunday night.
What time?
9 p.m.
Thanks.
What brings us to mountains? Is it the possibilities that await us at the top? Are we looking forward to how the challenge will mold us, transform us? Maybe the mountain is inside all of us. After all, we are mountaineers. Appalachian State University.
Welcome back to the A-Game. I'm Eric Fisher alongside Noah C. Cornelius. App State football hosted their pro day last Thursday here in Boone, where 26 NFL teams were in attendance. Let's look at some of your Mountaineers putting in some work. Thirteen Mountaineers participated in the pro day, and they did not disappoint. Jalen Virgil crushed it in the 40 with a time of 4.37. Bear Hunter logged 25 reps at 225 pounds, and Demetrius Taylor had 27 reps at the same weight. Chandler Staten faced some harsh winds, but was able to make field goals from 55 and 60 yards. The 2022 NFL Draft is scheduled to take place April 28th to the April 30th.
Sophomore Kate Houston was named Sunbelt Softball Player of the Week after a remarkable outing against Western Carolina, where she recorded 4 home runs and a 1.563 slugging percentage. We were able to speak with Kate last week about this, so let's take a look.
This is App TV's The A-Game. I'm Julie Lord, and I'm here with App State softball player Kate Houston. She just recently won Sunbelt Player of the Week. Tell me, Kate, how's it feel to win Player of the Week? It's obviously a huge honor, just doing anything I can for my team. With 4 home runs last week and Player of the Week this week, do you feel more pressure than usual to perform well? Not much pressure, just trying to play the game as normal and just having fun. This season, your team won the Texas State Series for the first time in school history. What were the main components that helped win that victory? Everyone has their role, just doing everything that we can, just staying up and having energy. And what are your future goals within your softball career? Just wanting to be the best that I can, do the best for my team, and obviously just have fun. Okay, thank you so much. And again, congratulations on Player of the Week, and good luck on the season. Thank you so much.
Adrian Delph has announced his intention to enter the 2022 NBA draft. Delph, who averaged 17.7 points and 5.4 rebounds per game. Delph will still maintain his final year of eligibility and could possibly return to the high country if he does not sign an NBA contract.
That's all the time we have for you this week, sports fans. I'm Noah C. Cornelius.
And I'm Eric Fisher. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the A Game Sports, and we will see you next week on the A Game.
When one arrives in Boone, you pretty quickly feel embraced by the mountains. The same thing happens here at the university. When you are a student here at the College of Business, you're embraced by the Appalachian community.
The name Appalachian State University, it means something and it connects with people. The experience goes beyond academics. There's a culture here. Everywhere I go, I wear that golden A. I take pride in that. It's not something that you find everywhere.
One of the things that's great about Appalachian is it has the resources of a big school, but the small school community.
Professors here take such an important view of how they can impact the lives of students.
That's the reason why we're here, supporting the students, seeing that they're successful both in their time here and then as they graduate.
We have a remarkable connection between faculty and students.
We have some of the leading voices in the field, so it really creates an intellectually vibrant environment.
You have the smaller class sizes, we have the high faculty engagement, and it really sets us apart.
These students are phenomenal. These students are, in my opinion, going to be the change seekers and change makers in the world, not only through their professional skills, but also because of the passion they have got for making this world a better place.
A lot of people think of school as coming to the classroom and then going home and doing homework. At the Walker College, it's not like that. We're really trying to rethink how we deliver education, what the purpose of education is. Really trying to break that hierarchy of the professor being out in front with all the great ideas and instead saying, you know what, everybody has great ideas.
They're figuring out those solutions through innovative thinking, through an innovative process.
Innovation is the edge. We are trying very hard to push our students to think in ways that they can not only think outside the box, but what kind of positive impacts they will be able to make in the world.
Having these different opportunities really sets our college apart.
We're trying to prepare the leaders of tomorrow by giving them ways of thinking about problems so they come up with solutions that are meaningful.
The students hit the ground running. They are the most technically competent, ready to go day one students. You know, when you get out into the business environment, that's the attitude you have to have.
Hiring an Appalachian graduate, as an employer, I know that I've got someone who can come in and hit the ground running.
One of the phrases you'll hear used often in the College of Business is business for good. We want our students going out in the world and helping to make it better by using business practices that can help.
I'm thankful for the transformational experience that Appalachian has given me. This college has shaped me both as a person and I think a servant leader.
Being a Mountaineer and being part of the Walker College of Business has shaped who I am today. I'm really excited to enter the workforce with the skills that I've gained here. For me, Appalachian really represents family. You know, I don't know where I would be without my Appalachian experience. I'm proud to be a Mountaineer in so many ways.
Any student that comes out of the Walker College of Business is extraordinarily prepared to be successful and to make a difference in the world.
If you want to be able to work side by side with faculty Students, staff, community, partners, and industry, we want you to be part of our family.